So at the end of the year, when we're all looking back on this daily vlogging thing and discussing what a rip-roaring success it was, let's just pretend the last 2 days didn't happen and we just kept doing daily all year long. I know, it's been a couple of days. What can I say? I've just had the worst flu that I've ever had in my life. In fact, scratch that, I've never had flu before until the last 5 days. It has completely wiped me out. At the time of recording this, it's 8 o'clock on Tuesday evening. I started to feel unwell Wednesday afternoon last week. Managed to soldier on and get vlogs out up until, I think the last one I spoke on was Fridays. Saturday I did the whole terrible drawing on a big black piece of paper thing, which it's over there somewhere. And then from then on, it just got worse and worse. I haven't been able to get out of bed. It's been awful. I have never felt this poorly. Apologies if there was a big smeary thing all over my face before. Don't think it was anything to do with the amount of coughing and sneezing I've been doing, but there's every chance that's exactly what it was. But here I am. I certainly don't feel 100% better. You can probably hear from my voice that I still feel pretty rough, but I am out of bed, which is something I haven't been able to do for several days. Fingers crossed, I'm like 80% sure I'm going to be back at work tomorrow, which is a positive. I haven't had 3 days off work ever before, I don't think, for illness. I've never had anything hit me like this in 10 years. I've only had 2 days off work and they were for surgery. It's just been mad. Don't get flu, kids, and don't ever say you've got flu if you feel a little bit unwell. The amount of times over the years I've said I've had flu, and people said, no, if you'd have had flu, you'd know you've had flu. And I've just, yeah, I was really poorly. Tell you what, I had never had flu before. You just can't get out of bed. Oh, it's been horrible. But enough of that. There's been some packages turn up while I've been recuperating. This one I assume is another comic that I thought I'd cancelled all of them, but obviously I haven't. So, oh, why did I not open this one without you lot? It's part 2 of The Vision. I've been waiting for this. I've got part 1 sat on my shelf. I've resisted reading that. I've resisted reading any of this on Marvel Unlimited as well, because I wanted to sit and read the whole 12-issue run in one go. I could have been doing that over the last few days. I might do that. Forget that going back to work tomorrow nonsense. Oh, I've got to tell you what, if I wake up ill tomorrow, I've got to go anywhere now, haven't I? I'm really looking forward to that. I need to get started on part 1 and then crack straight on with that. That is awesome. And then this one is thanks to, I've already opened it and had a sneak peek. I know what it is, because I didn't expect to get anything this shape. And it is the first example of true awesomeness when it comes to sending me packages, because this is from one of you lot, and this is from Ty Woodka. I don't know if I've said your name right there. He asked me about a month ago to send him a link for a mouse that I'd want, because on my FM channel I'm forever clicking on the trackpad because I lost the dongle thing for my mouse. He said, send me a link to a mouse that you want and I'll send you one. And I didn't do it straight away because I felt really guilty about having someone buy me something that really, I'm a grown man, I should be able to buy my own mouse. But in the end, I just stuck it on my Amazon wish list, stuck that on my website, and thought, you know, if he really wants to do it, let's let him. And we'll leave the wish list there, and if anyone else is desperate to get me something, it's there for them too. But bless him, Ty, thank you very, very much. I have a box where I can describe what it's actually called. It's a Victsing high precision programmable USB gaming mouse. Let's whip it out of its box. There you go, it's a bit of a beast as well, look at that. I have a proper mouse again. There'll be no more of this trackpad nonsense. This is going to take, literally, this is going to take 20 minutes a day off of my editing time, if nothing else. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that, Ty. That is awesome. Now, I had hoped by now that I'd be able to do part 2 to the whole becoming a full-time YouTuber video that I did early last week. The money. I obviously haven't been able to do it because I've not been able to vlog. And there are a few people who've got in touch just to let me know, oh Kev, isn't it funny? Have you reconsidered anything off the back of what you were saying last week about your pros and cons list, which is still on the wall behind me there. There you go, there's the pros and cons list. It's still there, I still look at it every day when I'm in here. we have on there as one of the cons that if I go full-time on YouTube, there'll be no sick pay. It's in there somewhere. Sick pay. And I said at the time, it's not a big deal because I don't get sick and I don't have time off work sick. And the universe decided to come down on me like a ton of bricks for that one and prove a point to me. And a few people have asked, has that changed my thoughts or my thought process about going full-time? And I don't think that it has. In fact, if anything, it's made me more determined that it's probably something that I need to do because of the fact that I'm working a full-time job and then doing the YouTube thing on the side. It means I never get fully ahead with YouTube. I never have a few episodes in the bank. So when stuff like this happens, I mean, my FM channel, my gaming channel, there hasn't been a new video out on that. Until today, there hadn't been a new video for 4 days. And that's far too long in the world of YouTube. That's people starting to forget you exist territory. And if it was something that I was doing all the time, if it was my full-time thing, I would never ever let myself get into the situation where I only had the next day's video set up and running. I'd always be a week or 10 days ahead, just as that security, that safety for, well, what if life gets in the way and you can't record today? What if you're ill? What if what if an emergency happens? If it's my job, if it's the thing that I'm doing to pay the bills, then I'll be a lot more careful about making sure that I don't get in this position again where I have to go 4 days without putting a video. Certainly since I started on YouTube in October 2015, it's the longest I've gone without putting a video out by 3 days. I've never missed more than a day before, and there's not many days that I've missed. Maybe more so on this channel, but on the gaming channel, that's been running since October 2015, and I'm closing in on 500 videos on that channel now. It has been almost a video a day that whole time. There's been a few days where I've missed and a few days where I've done double uploads, but by and large it's been daily content, day in, day out, alongside doing that full-time job. And this whole being ill thing, rather than giving me the wake-up call it probably should have given me, has made me think, yeah, I really let my channel down a little bit there. I mean, this isn't an attention-seeking bunch of silliness, like what you would expect on the internet sometimes. I'm not saying that to get loads of people to flood in and go, oh, Kev, you didn't let anyone down. That's not how I mean it. What I mean is, that's something that I'm trying to grow into my primary source of income, and because of the fact that I've got all this other stuff going on as well, I let it get into the position where I've let myself down more than anything. So I've let it get into a position where I wasn't able to keep putting content out on that channel because I didn't have the content to put out and I was in no fit state to produce new content. And that's not a situation I ever plan to be in again, regardless of what I'm doing for my normal 9 to 5. It's made me all the more determined to make sure I get ahead on that channel, perhaps knock some stuff on the head that I'm doing alongside that as well. I've had a lot of thinking time over the last 4 or 5 days where I've not been able to play games, I've not been able to really spend any time reading or doing anything constructive. I've spent a lot of time either asleep, or if I'm not asleep, just sort of lying in bed staring at the ceiling or staring out the window. And it has given me a lot of opportunity to have a think about things and put things into perspective. And I think there is stuff that I maybe need to knock on the head before work, but I do feel like teaching needs to be something that I maybe step away from this year, even if it's only for a year. Because of all the reasons that we talked about last week, plus a few more reasons that have sort of appeared in my head over the last 4 or 5 days. There'll be more videos discussing this over the next few days. I don't want to bombard you with another 15-minute epic on it today. I realise this video is already getting quite long, so I'm probably going to stop it here, but I think that's the bottom line thing at the moment. I'm pretty sure, and we still have to have this trial run at half term to see if we can actually get Sproglet to school, but if we can get him to school using the ideas that we've got, I think that's the confirmation then, because so many of the parts of the decision are starting to line up and it seems to make so much sense that it feels like it's going to be one of those things where if we don't do it A, he's going to just never go to school again, and B, it's always going to be that thing there at the back of my mind that I didn't try and I should have tried, and what might have been if I'd have just given that a go. Because ultimately with teaching, I can take a year off of that and I can just pick my career up again straight away where it is now, a year down the line, without really losing anything. And for the sake of getting him back to school, and for the sake of my own sanity, and for the sake of finding out if I could have done it, I think now is the best time. And I'll explain why now is the best time when I do the video where we talk about money. And that'll be in a few days' time. For now, I need to have another Lemsip, make sure my voice doesn't disappear from me, and make sure I get back to work tomorrow. Thank you for waiting for me to come back.